video. So I'm just touching on these few. Do know there's even a rape act that occurs before this next scripture I'm going to cover. But I'm going to cover this one because it's pretty much like it's a rough one, and I don't get how this occurred. But let's just go ahead and go to it. This is in Judges, the book of Judges, chapter 19, 22 through 30, and we're reading from the New World Translation of Holy Scriptures again. So in Judges, when we go there, again, this is chapter 19, 22 through 30. It says, while they were enjoying themselves, some men of the city surrounded the house and were pounding on the door. And they kept saying to the old man, who owned the home, bring out the men who came into your house so that we may have sex with them. What? At that, the owner of the house went out and said to them, no, my brothers, do not act wickedly. Please, this man is a guest in my house. Do not commit this disgraceful act. Here are my virgin daughter and this man's concubine. Let me bring them out, and you can humiliate them if you must. But you must not commit this disgraceful act toward this man. But the men refused to listen to him. So the men grabbed hold of his concubine and brought her outside to them. They raped her and abused her. Wow. All night until the morning. Wow. Then they sent her away at the break of dawn. Early in the morning, the woman came and fell down at the entrance of the man's house, where her master was, and lay there until it was light. When her master got up in the morning and opened the doors of the house to go out to resume his journey, he saw the woman, his concubine, lying at the entrance of the house with her hands on the threshold. So he said to her, get up, let us go. But there was no answer. The man then put her on the donkey and set out for his home. When he reached his house, he took the slaughtering knife and took hold of his concubine and cut her up limb by limb into 12 pieces and sent one piece into each territory of Israel. All who saw it, such a thing has never happened. All who saw it said, such a thing had never happened or been seen from the day that Israelites went up out of the land of Egypt down to this day. Consider it, take counsel and tell us what to do. Really? Yeah, I got a few issues with these scriptures as well. First and foremost, this old man that let them into his house. Who are you to offer this man's concubine in addition to your own daughter? This happened back in Genesis when daughters were offered up to a mob that was asking to rape the angels that came into a house. It's like, what? I covered that in another video. What is wrong with these men offering up their only daughter? Maybe that wasn't his only daughter. I don't know. Why would you offer your daughter to men asking to rape someone in your household? What kind of father are you? And not only that, but you're bold enough to offer your guest's concubine. Shouldn't the guest say, take my concubine instead? As we know, a concubine in the Bible was someone who was like beneath wife status. She lived with her master, as they called it. So she pretty much was a slave who had to probably give up her body and everything and carry on all the acts of a wife, but without the wife status. To me, that's dirty. Because it's like, like you doing the poor girl like that? Why not just marry her? Why do you, maybe he had a wife and this was just his other side piece, if we may call it that. I don't know. I just don't like that. I don't like what happened to the poor girl. Now, it was said in earlier scriptures, before the scriptures I read, that this concubine was unfaithful to him. So maybe that's why he did her the way he did, because I'm like, did he not? Obviously, he didn't refuse the old man offering her up to the mob to be raped all night to daylight. That is horrible. And then I wonder how many men it was, and that's horrible. And then they had to hear it. Did they do it right outside the door? It's like this went on all night. That poor girl, that poor concubine. That's terrible. So anyway, moving forward, this man was despicable to me, because it's like, why did he carry out the act of cutting her up into 12 pieces and sending her to the Israelites? And what kind of cowards were they? Oh, this never happened before. What shall we do? Like, how about, first and foremost, one of y'all should say, whoever did this is a sick bastard. Who cuts a woman's body up and sends it to us like this? Why did you do that? What's the message, etc.? Now, we learned later in the scriptures that I did not continue reading that he did this to tell them that some other guys committed this heinous act when he was traveling back home, and he stayed at a guy's house, and a mob came and did this to the concubine. Okay, couldn't you just write a letter and tell these Israelites that you had to cut her body up? Like the mob didn't even do that. Jeez. And even though they abused her and raped her, it's like, I wonder what other abuse occurred, because obviously she died from it. She was able to make it back to the house after they sent her away, which I'm like, okay, well, what that meant? Like, sent her away? I guess, okay, let me backtrack. Obviously, they didn't rape her there. I guess they took her away from the house, raped her, and abused her elsewhere, and sent her on her way. So she made her way back to the house and collapsed. She obviously died right there, because she didn't answer when her master was calling out to her. The Bible did not say he was sad or upset or enraged, just nothing. He just picked her up, threw her on a donkey, took her back home, and cut her up. It's like, what? So again, these are these odd sexual occurrences in the Bible that just was so unjust to me. So moving forward again, here's a story of strong lust, and it had its consequences. So we're going to go to the King James Version, to 2 Samuel chapter 11 through 5. So in 2 Samuel chapter 11, 2 through 5. Here we are. So, and it came to pass in the evening tide that David arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house. And from the roof he saw a woman washing herself. And the woman was very beautiful to look upon. And David sent and inquired after the woman. And one said, is not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Elam, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, the wife of Uriah the Hittite? And David sent messengers and took her, and she came in unto him, and he lay with her. For she was purified from her uncleanliness, and she returned unto her house. And the woman conceived. She got pregnant, and sent and told David, and said, I am with child. And David sent to Jacob, saying, send me Uriah the Hittite. And Jacob sent Uriah to David. Okay. I might have read a little further than I was supposed to, but I just had to. Sorry. All right. Here's my issue. This clown, he had a little power, so he could have had pretty much any woman he probably wanted, since he was controlling armies and, giving commands and all of this. Why you had to choose this man's wife? And why did the Bible make it seem like she was just that easy? Like she just slept with him. It's like, was there no dialogue in between? Like, hey, I'm married. Maybe she was afraid, didn't want to turn him down because of his status that he had. That's all I can come up with. I mean, but because it just seemed too easy. He sent for her, she came, and they had sex. What? That easy to lay with her? Wow. Okay. So then he sends for Uriah. Let's see what happens with that. Okay. So continuing on, 2 Samuel chapter 11 again, verse 14 through 15. So now, and it came to pass in the morning that David wrote a letter to Joab, and sent it by hand of Uriah. And he wrote in the letter, saying, set ye Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle, and retire ye from him, that he may be smitten and die. Dirty SOB. Dirty SOB. Okay. So, and what's crazy is Uriah was so loyal, he took the letter, stating in the letter for him to be killed, to this man, Joab, to read. And then the letter, it says, leave him, leave his side. Let him be out there alone fighting so he can truly die. That's horrible and dirty. That's some strong lust. You like, man, I want this woman so bad. I got to kill her husband. I mean, you had her when he was away. Geez, you have to kill him too? Get him? Oh, God. Here's another issue that the Bible kind of alludes to, but it doesn't really say in detail. It seemed like Uriah and his wife Bathsheba was having some issues. It didn't give no details, but it seemed like they was having some issues. Maybe that's why when he returned from the army, because he was away when she committed adultery with the clown, David, maybe they was having some issues between them. But when he came back, the Bible said he didn't even go home. He slept out in the streets and some other stuff. I'm like, what's up with that? So again, maybe that's why she just slept with dudes so easily, with David so easily. I don't know. The Bible's not giving those details. Again, I got an issue with that. If you're telling a story, we need to know those intricate details, because it just seemed a little too easy for her to lay with another man. And what was Uriah's issue? He didn't come home and get with his wife. You would think that after being away at war, you want some intimacy. Hey, I want to be with my lady. I'm glad I made it back. Woo, I want some loving. Nope. This clown laying out in the streets didn't even go home. What's up with that? So that troubles me. But let's continue on with the conclusion of David's behavior. All right. So still 2 Samuel, still chapter 11, but 26 and 27. Now, it says, and when the wife of Uriah heard that Uriah, her husband, was dead, she mourned for her husband. And when the morning was past, David sent and fetched her to his house. And she became his wife and bare him a son. But the thing that David had done displeased the Lord. Okay. All right. So at least we know God was unhappy with this act. But when you continue reading the scriptures, which I won't do now, to me, that punishment wasn't enough. Their son that they had, David and Bathsheba, because she got pregnant while still married to Uriah, that child died. God made the child die. But I'm like, that's all the punishment that David got? He didn't get nothing else? Because, he was repent, or let's say he did apologize to God and admit that he committed sin, blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't enough for me what happened. It was some old stuff, but I'm just like, that wasn't enough. Because, again, God is like destroyed man for other acts, like the one that popped off in the ground instead of in the wife of his brother. He killed him. Okay, why you didn't kill David? David got a man murdered, deliberately put him in the forefront, on the front lines in the army to get killed. God, why you didn't take him out? Like, what was up with that? You let him live just because he apologized? That's not right. And old Bathsheba didn't get a beat neither. It's like they just lost their child. And I know that hurts. I'm sure that hurts. But that's it. That's all. Okay. These were some odd sexual acts I covered today, and there's a few more in the Bible. I just didn't cover them all because I want to touch on these in particular. But sadly, I really with all these crazy acts that occurred, I found it odd that there was no mention of oral sex in the Bible anywhere. I would have wanted to read about that. It's like, okay, they're doing all this stuff, raping people and doing all these acts. Well, what's up with the oral sex? Ain't none of that up in there? Unfortunately, not nowhere in the Bible, no scriptures cover anything like directly stating there was oral sex occurring. Don't understand why is that. Is it possible man took that out? Changed that too? Who knows? Don't know. Even in the very poetic and love chapter, pretty much the Song of Solomon. The Song of Solomon. A lot of poetic love and sensuality in that story. Nice little chapter. But again, the way this woman was describing her love for this man and, things of that nature, or if maybe it was him describing his love, I won't get into the detail. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I know the way the love was described, you would think that oral pleasuring would have been a part of that, because there's some deep things being said in the Song of Solomon. It's actually quite romantic, some of it, but it's just odd. No oral mention. Like, really? Okay, strange. Okay, so sadly, I really don't have a conclusion in today's video. Sadly, I don't really have a real thorough conclusion. I'm sorry, because these acts, I can't really draw much from them. They occurred. At least one of them I know had a punishment from God. I know a few of them had a punishment from God. The act occurred, and one didn't get pregnant. God stepped in and killed that man. It's like, what? But angels got away with murder. Both literally and having sex with women. They didn't get killed. That ain't fair. So anyway, in conclusion, since I don't really have a conclusion with today's reading, I'll just end with a joke. Okay. Do you think, this is silly. Do y'all think I'm enticing enough for a female angel to have relations with me and we go have baby giants? It's all just a joke. I don't know. I find it odd again. I mentioned this in another video also. Why were there no mention of female angels? I'm sure that they had to have female angels. And if so, why were they not mentioned? If male angels were having sex with human females, no female angels wanted to have sex with us men? What's up with that? Okay. Anyway, I hope a lot of you have found some value in these videos and you've heard some stories that maybe you did not know of. Remember, there are more. I just didn't cover them all, so it may warrant another video, a part 2 to this one. Again, this is 6 of 10. There may be more depending on what viewers request. My next video will be maybe not as challenging or whatever. It will be it'll be about God. Like, has he appeared before man? And if he has visually appeared, how did he appear? How did he look? I would love to know that, because we pray to this day to him and we have no idea how he really looks. All we know is we're made in his image, whatever that's supposed to mean in full. So thank you all again for making it to the end of this video. Again, if you found value in this, do like, subscribe, and I look forward to hearing your comments. I'm looking forward to hearing your insight. I will see you in the next video to learn if God or how God has appeared before us, if he has. Thank you all.